Hello, everyone. This is Danu from Dev Device, and I am back with another episode of our podcast featuring entrepreneurs and business heroes. And today I have Aylin Altuntas from Istanbul from you, who is the CEO of AA Executive Consulting. And we met on a platform called A Small World, ASW, I think, which is not so common. But yeah, this is how we met, and this is where we are today. Welcome, Aylin.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, everybody.
Are you using A Small World? Is this something that you use frequently?
I have been a member of a small world since 2009.
Oh,
And
wow.
and in UK they are very active. So
Yeah.
when I am in London, I try to go to their events because it's a
Oh,
very
yeah, yeah.
nice opportunity to meet people, uh, even for work. Now this is how
Hmm.
we met, and we are here
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
So it's a nice platform. People don't interfere each other. They don't. They manage it quite actually wisely.
Hmm.
I've been a member since 2009.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a paid platform, so you have to pay for it. But I think I also been around for I don't know many years on and off. I mean, I've been ignoring it for many years, and then I came back. But yeah, it's all about luxury lifestyle mostly, right? It's I mean, this luxury lifestyle, like exclusive hotels and exclusive events, is a big part of it. But it's also about business, and it also allows like people to connect from different countries, like obviously we did. So thank you,
Mm.
Small World. Tell us a bit about your current consulting business, AA Executive Consulting. What are you doing there?
Uh, Actually, I am coming from an HR and training background, but it's been like 14 years with my company. So, 14 years ago, I moved to a consulting side of the business. Before that, I
Mm,
was in the corporate business, and we have a small hotel in Pamukkale and so on. So, since 14 years, and the first day was to define the company was change management. This is
mhm,
because this was a very unknown territory in Turkey.
mm.
So I said, I will do something that doesn't exist.
Wow, yeah, innovation.
And plus innovation. Well, that's what I want to actually start with, because change and innovation, most of the time people confuse these two terms and
Ah,
use from one and instead of another. So innovation is your business, like to create something new, a method, an instrument, tool. It's a creation process. On the other hand, change is a transformation process from one current status to another, and that doesn't necessarily has to be innovative or nice. For example, for
yeah, true.
example, a, a birth is a change in one's life. It's birth of a child, or a loss is a change. A marriage is a change. A divorce is a change. So
Yeah.
all, and we have all sorts of changes going on in the organizational side, in the companies. Change of a manager, change of a device, a change of
Hmm.
a method, a merger, acquisition, or climate change, a war,
Hmm. Hmm.
a technological war, or something very innovative like the electricity. So change is something more intangible, or a mental adaptation process. Innovation is the more technical term and
Yeah, yeah.
side.
There you
Yeah.
go. So we already have our first insight here. What is the difference between change and innovation? We all learned a lesson already. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
that, Eileen.
Oh my God. Oh my
But
God.
now we zoom back. Now we go back in history, and now we want to meet 10-year-old Aylin. Yeah, this is
Mm,
the little nasty trick I like to do in my podcast. So I like to meet you
mm.
when you were 10 years old, and I would like to see and hear what it was like to be 10 years old Aylin. I'm guessing in Turkey still.
Yes, I was in Turkey in 10 years. I was in a college, in a private school in Turkey. Uh, no, no, not that's primary school. I wasn't. I was in a primary school, 10 years old. Oh
Mhm.
my God. I never
Mhm.
thought about it. Okay.
Today is the day to think about 10-year-old Aline. Yeah, I know we
Okay.
don't do that very often, but yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, actually, I am quite a reserved person and a bit introvert. And I
Mhm.
was like that, quite analytical, very observant of what's going on, a bit distant from people. People's it seems like when I looked at my face and saw it, they thought I think it was I was a bit soft little girl, but I
Mhm.
wasn't. Yeah, that's the tricky part about me. You when you look at it, you think that you can.
You
I
look
mean,
nice, but you're actually tough.
but
Yeah, I
although
can imagine that. Yeah.
I was always a bit distant, a bit, but that analytical side, or the determination, for example, I was playing with lots of Legos, for example, and I wasn't done until that Lego is finished. And for example,
Oh,
if something that I couldn't do, I cried. Why can't I
oh,
do it? And then after that cry, I started back again and build it. That's
oh.
well,
Perseverance, I think, is the word for that, right?
re-
Perseverance. So you are very persistent, and you never gave up. Yeah. Okay. Already 10 years old, you have this like entrepreneurial, I'm not gonna give up mindset. That's fascinating.
actually, we have a term in Turkish. Uh, what the character you have on 7, you have it in 70. So,
Oi, there you
and
go. Maybe we
also,
should go back to 7, but yeah, 10 years is still
yeah, Itan is
still
fine.
valid.
Well, most of our formation, our character is like 70% is completed until 7, actually. This is a scientific fact.
Hmm.
So, 10 years I was like that. Yeah, I was playing with the friends, but what determined me, for example, when I went to bed, I was always questioning people, their words, and there was this conversation going on in my mind. Oh, that's not true. That's not how I see it. Yeah, I mean, this is something maybe not seen in a little child's mind when you go to bed. Yeah, so I had this Socratic
Oh,
questioning
pretty tough.
sessions going on in my mind until I go to
10-year-olds
sleep.
already, you're being in this philosopher and questioning what people say and do. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, well, most of us do actually, but maybe we don't remember our childhood very much.
Yeah, true.
These are the things that almost every one of us. One has a stronger side, and one has a. These I can define myself. This I can remember. Yeah,
Mm, cool.
from the
And
10 years old
then
child.
what was the next significant event? So this was schoolgirl Eileen, 10 years old, finishing school, and then what happened? What was the next life-changing event in your life?
Well, always goal setting. I set some goals and targets in my life, and I work hard. I always work hard. I'm not a person who is have shortcuts in the life. This
Mm,
is and all throughout my maybe throughout my life it's like that. I work a lot. I analyze a lot. I read a lot, and if, for example, I set a target, I try to convince everyone around me to help me to reach that target. In my school
What was
life,
your first target? What was your first target?
yeah, after primary, end of primary school, we have a school test system, exam system to enter to the to the high school exams in Turkey, and you can enter to better schools with English education and so on. So, but in the place, for example, where I was born, we had this school in another city. So I had to have a boarding school or so of course my parents at the beginning didn't want that because I was too small, but I somehow found a way to convince both of them that I want to go to the school, and I worked hard and I passed the exam and I went there. And after high school, for the university, for example, it happens the same. We have very good universities in Istanbul, and I want to go to one of them. And of course, again, there was this struggle within the family, and we have family businesses going on. So they don't want.
It was a hotel, right? I saw that you were working in a hotel.
It's a hotel, and before that, there was there is this factory, exporting factory, first exporting business in the area in Denizli. So my family is on the trade side, and they have these resources. So they just wanted to keep me all the time near to them, and I was this girl who wanted to see the world and always challenging myself and challenging people around me. And the second, I think, reaching goal is to enter one of the most difficult universities in Turkey. And then maybe my company as a third.
So you really like to set high goals, like really challenging goals. So you managed to join this university. You managed to join this highest, most difficult to enter university in Turkey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I managed, and in 2 years, I worked really hard. So talent is something. Talent is something. For example, there's also lots of debates going on if talent is valuable or hard work is more valuable. There's always this, let's say, talks going on. What I read from experts and in my own life, hard working is surpasses talent. Talent is we cannot ignore, because we have 3-4 years of child of playing instruments and so on, a gift from the DNAs and so on. We cannot ignore that. But if with hard work, with too much work, I think a person may achieve most of the goals in life. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, according to Einstein, it's 3% talent and 97% hard work, which determines success.
Yeah. There you go.
But that's what I recall from Mr. Einstein, but I might be wrong. But I agree. As I think talent is something. It's just like information or inspiration. This is all great, but we can only make something happen when we implement whatever talent or ideas or inspiration that we have. And the implementation part doesn't happen, sitting around. It's the implementation part, and the execution and the process takes time, takes sweat, and takes resilience also, because things don't always work out the way we want them, right?
Exactly. This is actually comes to the point of which I think I would like to share my point of view. It brings people to the search of happiness, because
there we go.
these are concepts that everybody is trying to evaluate and trying to find out in their lives, and like what is happiness. And well, as an analytic person, and I like to work with formulas, for example. But why? Because 2 + 2 always is 4. And if I have a formula of happiness, for example, I can work on it. That's the mentality. If it is hard work, and if it is a target to reach, for example, why don't we have a formula that we can work on and reach that happiness, isn't it?
There you go.
So
I'm assuming you have a formula, so I'm all ears. What's your formula?
The formula that I work on is happiness equals reality versus expectations.
Look at that. That's
reality versus expectation. And then we ask the questions, what is reality? What is reality? Because again, according to Einstein, there's a relativity theory which changes very often. So what is reality?
So many realities, yeah. I mean,
exactly.
realities
What
in our
is
head,
reality?
right? And it's a perception.
Exactly. What is my reality is maybe not your reality. We assume that we are living in the same world. We think that we see the same thing, we hear the same things, we experience the thing, and we assume that everyone thinks the same, which is actually the opposite. Dano, because we have, let's start from a person. A person has 100 billions of nerve cells, brain cells, neurons in the brain.
Yeah, I stopped counting at some point, but yeah, there's a lot.
100 billion, more or less. Can you imagine the combination and permutation of hundreds of billions of cells? So, how my brain worked today was different from yesterday, how it worked a few years ago, and totally from every other person living on the earth. So how can we claim that we are living in the same world? Our world is our brain. What we see, how it perceives it, how it understands it, how it reacts
how we judge
to it.
Yes, because we're judging all the time. I mean, the same event, the same thing can mean so many different things for many different people, right? So I completely agree that reality is a very, very vague concept, and we can actually choose what, how we want to describe or determine our reality. So there's a lot of leeway.
So coming to the concept of happiness, if we have different realities, what I humbly advise is, if you are searching for the happiness and try to be more happy now, try to figure out your reality. If you can determine your obstacles, your restrictions, your advantages, disadvantages, your own character, your age, your gender discrimination, if you can blindly see your reality, your society. For example, we have a misconception we have a misjudgment of expecting that Earth should be a very happy place. This is not reality, though. This Earth is a tough place, though. It's every morning, everybody, from 1 to 0 age to whatever age they are, every day is a challenge to live. So determine the reality and try to accept it as it is. If you can change your reality, if you're not happy with the society, for example, the society you are living in, and you want to change it, you check this, you check that, and you cannot move. you cannot move because you're totally restricted. You want to go to another country. This is maybe insight to the young people, because they always want to move. You want to go to another country, for example. You don't know the reality of that country. You can't even buy a ticket to go to the country. So you have this expectation or dream. You have the dream to move to that country. And every day you cannot achieve this aim, you're unhappy. Either you should be able to change your reality. If you can't, I strongly advise you change the expectation. If you can reduce the expectation from life, change your expectations from life, from the society, from yourself. People don't know their limitations and put goals that they cannot achieve. And then there is a goal that sometimes when I'm an executive coach, so I look at their reality and see that goal can be achievable in a realistic way, in an analytic way, maybe in 10 years. I'm not saying it's not unreachable in 10 years, but the person puts him or her target as 2 years. What happens after 2 years? There's a big frustration. And that's the reason for
expectation. Yeah, because of the big expectation gap between expectation and reality, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a very good angle. So I kind of agree. When reality and expectation are very close. Let's say I'm making $100 a day, and I want to make $100 a day, then I'm happy. If I want to make $1,000 a day and I'm making $100, that makes me unhappy, right? So if the gap is bigger, but then there's this question, like, should I lower my expectation or should I bring up my reality? So I guess you also have strategies to kind of change the reality in a way, right?
Well, you don't have to lower your reality, but you should be prepared to work a lot, spend a lot of energy, time, and resources to reach that. For example, everybody is looking for an innovation, something to create new, but they are not willing to spend that time and energy and hard work to reach the target. When you look at those big scientists, we can't. For example, you spoke about Einstein.
We had that guy.
Einstein was rejected from so many places that he could only find a job as in the patent office to be able to survive until he became Einstein. It is incredible. That's, for example, that I read or saw recently about Einstein. I didn't know that. We think, well,
how amazing! That's how Einstein is somehow dominating.
He's so much rejected from so many places, and so people should be. I'm not saying everybody should lower their expectations. I'm just saying if you put it high, you should be prepared to the consequences for it. You can't have it all.
So you have to be, you have to be tough. But I think it has to be a healthy setting of. I mean, if expectation equal reality, so then we don't have motivation to go anywhere, right? So we will just sit back and say, okay, everything is fine. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to think. I don't have to innovate. I don't have to change. So all of this. So we became stagnant.
Exactly.
So I,
Exactly.
so I believe, yeah. So I think a certain discrepancy between expectation and reality is healthy. But of course, if the gap gets too big, yeah, then we are in this like frustration mode, right? So
Yeah.
we have to kind of narrow this gap. And I think that's actually the art form of living, to have this healthy gap between reality and expectation, where we are motivated to move forward, but we are not frustrated every day because we are not there yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the mental balance. And honestly, I favor mental balance more than happiness in my life. Maybe with the age or something like that. It's like, for example, have you heard of serotonin? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
It's a
called as
hormone.
happiness hormone.
Yeah.
People think people use it like happiness. It's not. It's not exactly a happiness hormone. It's a mood stabilizer. It's a stabilizer hormone, and that's for example, with exercise, it's released. And when you look at exercise, if you have too much energy, it's reduced. If you have not much energy, it's increased. So this comes to the point of actually completes your point of view, that it should the balance, the balance in our lives, the mental balance
Yeah.
and so on. That's, I think, we should be all searching for.
Yeah. How do you achieve balance, Eileen? How do you do that?
Oh my God. That's also hard work in this fast moving life. uh, I counted exercise. The second thing that
What you
I do,
exercise? What you do for exercise?
walking. I uh,
Walking.
yeah,
Wow.
I've done a lot of. I played tennis. I played uh, gym and so on. But how what I read, what I understand is walking is the best exercise for human being, because our coming from the coming from the Homo sapiens, we are a part of the nature. Our legs have the most muscles, and they should be used all the time, and
Correct. They should be used.
they
Yeah.
should be used. So
Yeah, I agree.
and if you do it in nature, if you do it in
That's
nature,
also important. Yeah.
that if you do it in nature, something happens, and that's we have blood going, floating in our veins. We are not a
Circulation.
robot.
Yeah.
We are not a technical device. We are not a technical person. So in that blood, what is it? H2O. What is O? That's oxygen. Where do we get the oxygen most? In a forest, in a nature, near the sea, in the ocean. And that nature provides that for us. When we walk near the sea, how do we feel? We feel better. So, how do I keep my mental balance? Exercise, and exercise it in nature. And then
Oh.
And then there's the second subject that we do less in life. We become more individual and individual and individual. This is a fact, and that's fine. I don't have to live in a tribe but we are social animals. We are social animals. Our
I
coping
agree.
system with life is based on the dynamics in a social group. Why are we so willing to be a part of a community? Why? Because we start from the small world. Why? Because we are stronger. We feel stronger if we are a part of that community. And that appeals for everybody. Everybody wants to be a part of some group. Why is that? Because our coping system in life We are not the strongest animal on earth, but how do we survive? We survive in groups. So what I suggest is be a social animal, be with people. But there is my but, which is, while socializing, do not do your mental laundry. Do not do your mental laundry. What do you do in socializing? Just have fun. Just try to keep up with the mood, or if you can increase the mood, do not decrease the mood of the people. Why? Because emotions are contagious. If I'm an angry person, suddenly the other person is angry, and what do we do? We pass our emotional laundry to the other, and that laundry becomes double, triple. It doesn't get easier. So one of the things for the emotional laundry I use is art. This is also something different, in my opinion, and this is in the latest neuroscience researches and surveys. Art appeals to the emotional side of the brain. It triggers the emotions. It opens up the subconscious, suppressed feelings, and you can do art by yourself. So you can do your laundry by getting involved in a, like, you don't have to necessarily play something. Even by listening as an audience or watching an art piece, I think you have a musical side as well, don't you?
Background, I used to DJ a lot, and I'm still DJing once in a while. I was a sound engineer. I studied jazz saxophone in Munich. So yes, music has always been. I'm the acoustic guy. Yeah, I can completely relate to, like, engaging with music, listening to music, playing music is it's how I open up, how my emotions get flowing, and yes, it's
There you go.
makes a big
Yeah,
difference.
I mean, it's in the latest researches that art helps people a lot. So how are we becoming now? A Renaissance person dealing with science, technology, art? Yeah, ideally, yes. I mean, if we can, yes, we can. But I strongly advise to get everybody involved in art somehow. They don't have to play it, but listen to it, watch it, go to a gallery, try to get connected to their emotional side, so that it's not suppressed all the time. Because if you suppress your emotional side, what happens? Either you blow up, and that doesn't help, or you become a very reserved person and go to depression.
Yeah,
People,
very true.
so nature, people, and art. That's how I.
Wow. Who would have thought, huh? Look at this. The equation for happiness, for balance. Nature,
Balance.
walk in nature, deal with people. Like, remember that you are like a social animal, and engage with art, so you don't have to do the laundry with your friends, but you can do your emotional processing or cleansing, by engaging with art, and then you can just be a a positive contribution to your social environment, so you don't come and dump in negativity on your social environment. Is that would be that is
Thank you
appropriate
so
summary?
much. Thank you so much. I'm glad somebody listened.
I listen for sure. Yeah. So that's very inspiring. Yeah, I thank you so much for sharing. I mean, this is a very unique approach to to balance and all the things we covered today. It's quite amazing. I never expected that to hear. today, and it's very inspiring.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
this is
Thank you.
why I do this, because you never know what you hear from people who, when you open the stage for them, and then they come up with all these amazing ideas and thoughts and experience. Yeah.
Don't know if we
Well,
have time. There is one last subject that I would like to
of course,
share.
of course.
That's also very popular because in this age, that's money.
Money.
Figures money.
I've heard
Uh,
about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some people talk about
Figures.
money. I'm not sure what it
uh,
is, but yes, I keep hearing this word money.
yeah, these subjects boggle everybody's mind, and they try to figure out their way throughout their lives. So there's a survey in Wall Street Journal that I read recently about the changing trends in the last 25 years. It's been a global trend survey, and they try to figure out what people give importance to. How does it change? And there's a big change in the last 20 years about what people give importance to. Let me read from here, for example.
Oh,
There is a declining trend, very major declining trend, for example, at patriotism, religion,
all right.
having children, community involvement. These are all decreasing trends on the global.
Decreasing. They're going down.
Decreasing. They're going
Oh,
down. They don't.
okay.
They don't favor patriotism anymore. Give importance too much to the religion, having children, and community more. There is one thing that people give more important in the last 20 years. Only increasing subject is money.
Whoa. Huh. Interesting, huh? So they don't want children, they don't want religion, they don't want patriotism, but they all want money now. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how healthy that is, but yeah, that's what it is, right? It's
Well,
a
well,
survey.
don't know. Let's see. Try to figure out how life was like 70, 80 years ago. When we
It was more family, right? It was
when we
more family
speak
stuff.
about
Yeah.
when we speak about the reality, they didn't see what other peoples were doing, how they lived, what they bought, where they went to, how the other city is like, how the other families are doing, how
Yeah.
the other countries are doing. So they thought their reality is when they where did they compare? They compared to their neighbor, and that neighbor wasn't much doing any better. So that that
Yeah.
was that wasn't much comparison
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
in people's lives.
That's a very big thing, yeah. To
So
compare, yeah.
compare.
Yeah.
So what do we do now? We have all world people's lives in front of us, and we can compare with each one. So who can blame? This is also a human nature and a fact. If somebody is doing better, of course you admire and want that in your life.
We also
A,
want that, yeah.
a better car, a better
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
A, a,
Beauty, richness, money, luxury,
who
yeah,
can
there's
blame? Who can?
yeah.
Each of us wants it more. So it's not surprising that and how do we reach that? We need money to reach that those tasks. So it is, in my opinion, very normal, very and acceptable, and well, for everybody to want want more.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
but there is one thing that I would like to say about excessive money. I find excessive money like a holiday resort. For example, you go to a luxury holiday resort and you have the open buffet. And what happens in the first day? oh my God, this is like heaven. I want to eat all these dishes. I want to have that all. And what do we do? We can only eat 2 dishes, three plates, 4 plates, and including dessert, let's say 5. And we are
That's a lot.
full. And we are full, most. And then second day, we do it again, the third day. And then I can assure you, as a person who has experience living in a hotel and an open buffet, after 3 months, those open buffet is not tasty anymore. What you miss is a soup in your cozy home. This is what happens in a human appetite. When you reach to a saturation, you search for less. But having said that, we have children who doesn't have anything. In my opinion, every children on earth should be able to have at least a couple of times on that open buffet to be able to see that open buffet is not satisfactory, not tasty anymore. So we shouldn't judge or blame the people who doesn't have it, that they want to go there. Do you understand what I mean? This is also a human nature, and how I look at money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's very interesting. Yeah, so it is natural to have this desire to experience all the luxury, but then it wears out. So as soon as you experience it for a while, you realize that, all the Lamborghinis and all the buffets, and all this stuff, it's maybe doesn't really make you as happy as you thought it would. So you go back, and ride a bicycle and have your soup at home and realize maybe that is the actual life you want to live.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Another beautiful insight, Aylin. Wonderful. Today is the day when Turkey is electing a new president. Is that correct, or is it?
Yes. Yeah, we did the first tour on Sunday. We couldn't get into a decision as a community society, as a nation. We couldn't select one person, and there are 2 candidates competing. So there will be another election in 2 weeks' time. Second tour, and hopefully in that tour we will make a decision as a country.
Hopefully, I have no comments on which decision would be the better one for Turkey or for the world, but that's a whole big other topic, I guess. But it's just a coincidence, that we happen to talk on the day when this is all happening. I saw the news yesterday, like how this is all, and I cannot believe how, like, in so many countries, these decisions are so edge on edge, like so 50-50.
Yes.
Like it looks like no country has a clear majority towards one party or one candidate or whatever. They all seem to be like on this 50-50 edge, but yeah, it's just a surprising thing.
When you speak like that, what comes into my mind, maybe one of the factors that's affecting that division is old people decision, old mentality, and the young people decision, or their preferences, their mindset. There is a slight difference because when we were child, the maximum living age was like 60s. Now it's coming to 90. So we have until 90, we have lots of generations within the pot. And how I see this difference is a bit like elder people, more conservative people want to stick to their traditions, to their decisions. They don't want to let that go, but they are used to it, and that's part of the change management as well. They like to keep their comfort zone, But then we have this young generations with the new values, new priorities, new way of life, and new realities in their life. So maybe it's one of the factors that the competition between the decision between elder people and younger people, it might be as a global. When we look at regional, there are so many other factors affecting. For example, you mentioned about we have this election and it's a coincidence that we have doing it. Honestly, Dano, we have always something going on in Turkey and in this area. This is also a part of the change management. We have always something going on. If we had done this podcast 2 months ago, there was an earthquake subject, for example, and before that, there was something else. So it's a quite shaky and shaky region area, and it's very difficult for somebody to judge and analyze from abroad. Unless you live in it.
And you speak the language, I guess.
So
that's it.
We have lots of factors going on, and Turkish people are quite unique. We are not like any other country
nation on the world.
So it's not easy to comment on what's going on in Turkey. If you interfere from abroad, I'm sure you have seen what happened in the southern areas of the region. It doesn't help the society. We have to figure it out on our own. We have to do it as a nation. We have to, if change is needed, we have to do it when and the best time that it appeals to the collective mind. Interference from abroad is not helping Turkey. So that's one comment I can tell. We have a slow changing process. And that's not only about people, that's also because of economy, because of wars around us, and a shaky place. So change is even inevitable. Change is inevitable for any country, for any person. And hope it is in the best time for the nations, for the people. That's all I can say. So I'm trying to accept society as it is, to adjust my expectations to the reality, collective mind of the people. Otherwise, I would be unhappy. My decision is only one vote. And that's all I can impact. And plus, I am on the training side. You saw how my mentality is like. I'm doing my best to educate the people, and that's a Renaissance type of questioning type. Philosophers, the science, the Einstein and stuff. So, but this is all I can do. Otherwise,
you would be not happy.
Or I have a chance to move to another country if that decision is mine.
Yeah, sure. Yep. That is a very good statement on the state of Turkey. To summarize, I have learned so much from you today, Aylin. I thank you so much for all your sharings.
Thank you so much.
We will make sure that people can find you in the description where we put the link to wherever you want people to go when they want to talk to you or connect with you, or
Sure.
maybe ask for your services. Your services are available internationally, or are you focusing on Turkey only?
Executive coaching is available throughout the world.
International, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, change management and innovation might be more Turkey, but finance
Yeah.
consulting is in Swiss, in
Mhm.
UK.
Mhm.
So they need to ask.
Okay. All right. We'll make sure we provide the right links and people can find you, reach out to you. You're a great person, Aylin. It was an
Thank
honor to
you.
have you here. And
My pleasure. My pleasure.
yes,
It's so nice to talk you to talk to you, and I hope I see you in person as well.
yes, I hope so too. Thank you very much, Aylin.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.